see if you can get it, and I'll try to. This thing's limping along just like the rest of us.
Yeah, you're right, it's not.
Oh, it just popped up. Fritz said he would do it too. Is the sound up? Yeah. Okay, folks, and we're sorry about that. We are having major technical difficulties. So far, you haven't missed anything. A couple of scoring opportunities for Mount, but were turned away by Mid-Fairfield. So welcome to the NE Pack. Mid-Fairfield against Mount St. Charles. And Mount gains the Mid-Fairfield zone. Chris Faich is in net. And so here comes Mid-Fairfield. Ludke up with the puck, shot. But it's stopped by the pads of the Mount St. Charles goalkeeper. So folks, hopefully if you can comment at home as usual, and just let us know that the video's coming through. And the audio as well. Mount races down, gets there first. Able to keep it in the Mid-Fairfield zone. Shot blocked by Fuggerino. Zoo working the end board. Becker from Mount out with the puck, out to his defenseman. There comes Charbonneau's shot, and Faich is able to absorb it. Can you check your phone and just see if people are saying if it's working? Yeah, it should be. We're having trouble with it coming up, but Vinny Zoo up with the puck. And it's up into the corner. Out to the blue line, shot saved by Faich. Faich with a save. Caccaro up with the shot. Zoo's immediately hounded by a couple of Mount players. Ha keeps the puck from going in the Mid-Fairfield zone. Okay, and thank you folks at home for letting us know that. And sorry, Brown is up with the puck, shot, blocked by Mid-Fairfield. And here comes Mid-Fairfield. Malefis dishes over to Scranton, unable to get by. The referee blocks the puck. And here comes Mount. Charbonneau across halfway point. Shot, saved by Faich with a shoulder. Just a blast from Charbonneau. And here comes Lopiano. Good poke check by Mount St. Charles. Lopiano's trying to dish to Scranton. And the puck skips to the opposite corner. Shoveled back in by DeRoberts. Here comes Charbonneau up with the puck. Puts a floater into the middle of the rink. Here comes DeRoberts into the zone. Dennis is there from Mount St. Charles. Feeds the puck out. DeRoberts all over the winger. Mount looks to get set up. Bomidian with a shot out in front. Saved by Chris Faich. Big save. Mount was running a play off in the zone. And Chris Faich able to come up with the puck. And folks, I apologize about the camera. I think it's at the end of its lifespan, and so we're just trying to limp it along the best we can. Saved by Faich. Now out in front, but unable to connect. Defenseman keeps it in the zone though. Correa shovels it along into the corner. And Mount dumps it back in again. Boudry's trying to move the puck along, absorbs a big hit. And finally, mid-Fairfield able to get it out of the zone. Figueredo almost has his head taken off. And Mount looks to reload. Breaks out the puck, Foyt. And that's going to be an offside on an over-eager Mount player. But as I said, folks, we're just kind of limping this camera along. And so hopefully you guys are able to see it at home. I know we were having trouble with also the game appearing on YouTube, which I was told it finally did. So Mount with the steal, so Charbonneau up with the puck. Tries to thread the needle. And it's knocked back out into the neutral zone. That should have been an definitely should have been an offside there. A couple of players actually offside. And so we want to thank Mr. Scranton, as always, for solving all these IT issues for us. It's one thing I am not good at. So Mount with the win, dumped in. Armstrong gains the mid-Fairfield zone. Thrown to the opposite corner. Out in front, out to their defenseman. Blocked. A couple of players, I think, went off their skates. And dumped in by Coccaro. Fielded by the Mount goalkeeper and thrown along the boards by Armstrong. Nice play by Coccaro. Gain control of the puck and throw it in the Mount zone. Forecheck by Johnston forces the goalie to field it. Armstrong's trying to feed Wang, but nice play by Boudry to prevent. I gotta clean my glasses probably. Scranton over to Johnston and loses the handle into the Mount zone. Forecheck by Scranton. Low piano. Should have been another offside there, but errant shot. Pushes the puck to the opposite corner. Ha with a blast behind Faich, and Brown picks it up at the blue line. Shot, saved by Faich off the shoulder. So Chris Faich has had a lot of work so far. Just tipped off a Scranton stick, but held in by Boudry. Boudry and Brown going at it in the corner. Out in front. Oh, mid-Fairfield with a chance there. Puck took a dog leg off the end board. Malefus unable to get a lot on it though. 10:05 left in the first period. We're scoreless right now. So Malefus at the center position. Okay, out to DeRoberts. DeRoberts floats it back in behind the Mount net. Lopiano up with it. Behind the back pass. DeRoberts now is going to fly down there. Mount gains the zone. Oh, Chris Faich got a stick on it. There was an open winger, and Faich able to get a stick on it. Shot and glove by Chris. So Faich is feeling it our first part of the first period already with a couple of big saves. So Colin Correa at center. Win by Mount, shot, blocked by one of the players. Coccaro swipes at it, but it's blocked again. Zoo now behind Faich. Hassled on the end board. Finally, with Fairfield's able to break it out. Figueredo now leaves it for Coccaro. but stolen by Mount. They're gonna have numbers here. They're gonna have a 3-on-2. Toe drag and stolen. Saved by Fates, but unable to make the second save. So Chris Fates made a beautiful first save, but then unable to come up with a second, and Mount strikes first. 9-11 period. Looked like Mid-Fairfield was going to dodge a bullet there, but just Picaro up with it. And stolen again by Mac. Looks the post came off. So 8:54 left in the first period. Mid-Fairfield down by a goal. Johnston and up with it, looks up ice. Nice passing by Mid-Fairfield. Johnston back to LeConte, unable to return the favor. And shoveled out by Mount. And here they come again. Armstrong feeds Bricker, shot up in the air, saved by okay, yeah. So you just get as 29 left in the first period. Charbonneau, it's mishandled though. Fates is able to stick it aside. Oh, here we go, here comes Malefus. Oh, he just couldn't get it on his stick. Charbonneau throws it along the glass, but Lopiano is trying to field a penalty on DeRoberts here. So it looked like O'Neill had lost an edge. DeRoberts raced back. Refs are talking about it. But DeRoberts will head off to the box here, 7:52. So Mid-Fairfield down 1 is going to be forced to go on the penalty kill here. You have Correa, Zoo, Boudry, and Lutke as your penalty killers. Correa at the face-off. Going against Campbell. Charbonneau off his right shoulder. Charbonneau look. Here comes Charbonneau toe drag, but that is his pocket pick there. Skated by Mid-Fairfield. Those unforced errors and a shot on the Fates that's gloved. A couple of unforced errors by So you got Kai Scranton out there. Boudry's still out there with Malefus. Thrown up along the glass, but kept in by Bricker. Mount trying to get set up. One-timer, and shoveled out by Mid-Fairfield. Yanni Malefus so dangerous with those short hands. Mount gets set up, Stoney check. Tries feeding, Scranton gets a stick in the way. Scranton with a nice check. Oh, for the next 39 seconds. Picaro and O'Neill. O'Neill over to Picaro, back to O'Neill. Free, O'Neill uses his shoulder to deny the opportunity to Bowman. Now leaves the puck. O'Neill back with it over to Lopiano, and it's poked free by Campbell. Campbell back up with it. Campbell now with it. Dangerous shot out in front, and it's off of a mid-Fairfield stick, and Faich is able to put a glove on it. 5:54 left. In the 4-on-4, then mid-Fairfield will have about a one, throws it back out and dumped in by Mount. Glove and up into the netting. 5:27, Yanni Malefis with a scoring there. Fairfield slid over to Coccaro. Back to Coccaro. Coccaro trying to gain some space there, finally does. Back and forth to Scranton. Now to Malefis offhand. Over to Lopiano. To deny the shot. Kept in by mid-Fairfield. Dump back in. Lutke now. But Mount's got two players on the puck. And it's tied up. Mid-Fairfield digging actively at it. It squirts free out to Coccaro. 12 seconds left. Shot off the pad. Dumps it over to Zoo. Back over to Coccaro. Coccaro mishandles it, but it manages to get it out of the zone here. 4:01 left in the period. So we're going to have face off in the Mount zone. Mount with the win, dumps it out. Zoo races over to keep in. Comes Mount with it. Gambito now out with it, but good poke check by Boudry to deny. 3:44 left in the period. Mount up by 1 over mid-Fairfield. Correa at the center. Correa, I believe, used his hand there. Nobody saw. Zoo dumps it into the opposite corner. Correa races over. Shot by LeConte at center. It's got LeConte right off his shoulder. Johnston runs into Correa. Correa unable. Now Lutke fights for possession. Players still going at it, and here comes Mount. It breaks it out. Campbell races there and gets there first, tries to set up a Mount teammate. It's stolen by mid-Fairfield, then turned over by mid-Fairfield, now stolen by Fagarino. And turned over, mid-Fairfield in danger here. Good stick work in the slot to prevent a shot. Mid-Fairfield just trying to settle things down here. Fagarino races over, but Mount gets there. But mid-Fairfield's defense able to sweep the puck away. Mid-Fairfield, again, trying to settle down. Lopiano feeds Correa. Correa over the blue line. Off the pads of the Mount goalkeeper. Scranton up with it. Stolen by Armstrong. Both hit the brakes. Charbonneau comes back in. It's thrown out to the blue line. Shot, misses the. Scranton races over. Two Mount players all over Scranton, who manages to come up with a puck. Tried. Armstrong just throws. And it's ticked off of Brown, so that won't be an icing call there. LeConte and Scranton with the forecheck. Stolen by Lutke and dumped back in again. We'll just take a short break and be right back at it for the second period.
So I can get an angle down. Fine, I was running
Good?
Yeah. If the sound waiting. Super glitchy.
It's because the folks at home, we're using a hotspot, so for some reason the Ethernet ports that are all here, none of them are working right. It keeps dumping the signals, so we're using my hotspot. So a good recipe. But so far, Mid-Fairfield playing well here, only down by a goal to Mount. And it's pretty late in the game, about halfway through the third period. So hopefully Mid-Fairfield will be able to pop one in here. As you can see, the skill level on Mount forcing Mid-Fairfield into a lot of unforced errors. So you've got Correa at center, Figurino and Lutke, Zoo and Kakaro manning the blue line. That's all. So they'll reload. Correa with the win and gets the shot on the Mount goalkeeper, who's easily able to secure the puck. And we'll try it one more time. So the puck forced way back. Zoo races back, rolling puck, and leaves it for Figurino, who feeds Lutke. Stolen by Mount. Kakaro now by a couple of Mount players. Loses the handle. Comes loose. Figurino now up with it, but he's thrown down to the ice. Bench. We're gonna have a stoppage in play here. I believe the door came open. That was happening in the game right before us, the 2011 game. One of the doors just would not shut. So Malefus at center. You've got Scranton out there, Lopiano. Lopiano right behind shot to flex off a Mount stick. And it's shoveled back in. Boudry up with it. Thrown back to the opposite side. And that's the exact door I was talking about. The door would not shut for the 11 game that was happening right before us. So unfortunately for Mid-Fairfield, who had control of the puck, they're going to be taking the face-off in the Mid-Fairfield zone. So you've got Malefus out there at the center against Charbonneau. Win by Charbonneau out to Foyt. He leaves it for Bricker. Shot! It looked like it hit a couple of players and thrown out. Foyt unable to put it in. And here comes Malefus. Oh, he tried to feed Lopiano. Nice play by Gerard. And shoved back into the Mid-Fairfield zone. Roberts up with the puck. Oh, but turns it over to Mount. And here comes Charbonneau again. Cross ice pass to Foyt. Shot, saved by Faitch. That's the thing with the two, especially the top two Mount players. You can't sleep for a second when you're out there. They are all over the Mid-Fairfield players in their zone, causing an offensive chance for Mount. Against Johnston's shot. Looked like Caro got a poke check on it. O'Neal helps out. Mount back out in front again, though. Turns and fires on Feach, misses the net. Was out to Thompson. Shot, misses the net. Ware races over. And again, all right, the goalie dad is going to lose his mind. That puck was leaving the zone. The face-off should be out there. So again, Mid-Fairfield's punished for that errant door because the puck was leaving the zone, and now again, Mount has control. So win by Mid-Fairfield on the face-off. LeConte unable to get it out cleanly, so Picaro's got the rolling puck, and finally the puck leaves the zone. So Ware able to leave it for Cacaro. Cacaro at the top of the key, loses the handle, puts a shot, tipped, but not on net. So Ware back up with it. Ware out in front, but unfortunately only Mount players there. And now they're gonna have a 4-on-2 on Mid-Fairfield. Thompson up with the puck, out in front. Saved by Chris Feach. Oh, Mid-Fairfield with a beautiful defensive effort by their goalie and their defenseman. Ludke now up the other way, shot right into the stomach of the goalie, but the puck's still loose. Figurino now up with it, over to Cacaro. Cacaro puts it just on the stick of the Mount player, and here we go. O'Neal swats the puck to the opposite side to Figurino. Ludke just trying to get it to a friendly person. Finally over to Cacaro. Cacaro with a long shift. He's got to get off the ice here. But now here comes Charbonneau. Shot, saved by Feach. He sticks it aside. Now here, Correa now. Shot, oh, off the goalie's mask. Great shot by Correa there. Out in front, Correa with another shot. Up in the air, kept in by Mid-Fairfield. Mid-Fairfield with the best scoring chance of the day. Back out to Correa on the ice. Colin Correa with 3 great shots there. But credit the netminder for Mount. 3 beautiful saves to deny Mid-Fairfield. But Mid-Fairfield comes alive offensively with Colin Correa out there. 12:57 left in the second period. Mid-Fairfield still down by a goal. Malefus at the center. Malefus racing off into the corner, comes up with a puck. He's hounded by a Mount player, still pinned up along the boards. Shoveled onto the goal. Mid-Fairfield with another couple of chances here. Boudry up with it, dumps it into the corner. Malefus gives chase. And here comes Mount. They're gonna have a breakaway, and it just tips. Sorry, the goalie father in me is losing my mind here. Scranton up with the puck, back onto Mount, behind, holds the puck, loses the handle finally. Out in front shot, misses the nets. Out in front again, oh, looked like Malefus had a shot there. LeConte back up with it, leaves it for Malefus. Malefus behind the net, out in front. DeRoberts back in off of Bomidian's leg right there. And finally out. And that's gonna be an icing call.
Network error timeout.
Is it down again?
It just says network error timeout. It comes up and comes off.
We can try somebody else's to see if they have.
I'm assuming
It's still working. And that should be another icing call on Mount. So 11:37 left. And I apologize, folks. We're doing the best we can. The video quality is not the best. We're going to try another port here, maybe at the halfway point. But Chris Faich with a huge save, and mid-Fairfield defensemen are able to sweep away the puck, keeping this a one-goal game. Johnston at center. He's tied up, but Mount comes in, steals the puck. Bricker throws it in, gets his own pass. Bricker up with it, out to Thompson, shot way wide. Pan's got to race in. Thrown to the opposite side. DeRoberts up with it, throws it high up into the air to center ice. And here comes Johnston. He's got LeCompte with him, unable to get a pass around the Mount player. Oh, kept in by DeRoberts. DeRoberts, oh, blocked by Mount. And now Mount's gonna have some numbers here. Armstrong with a shot, saved by Faich. Kept in again, fielded, and the net's off, so we're gonna have a stoppage in play here, 10:36. You can see both teams, especially in mid-Fairfield, is just gassed here. They need a break. So Correa at the face-off, stolen by Figueroa, who gets by one Mount player. Figueroa still fighting for possession with Ludke. Figueroa back on the puck again. Kept in by Lopiano, doglegs back out and shoveled out of the zone. And that's going to be another icing call. So I said, folks, at the halfway point, we'll try some of the other feeds that are around here, see if maybe we can get a better Ethernet connection. But so far, a really good game out of both teams, but you can see the tired legs. So Malefis at center, wins out to Zoo. Zoo winds up, shot, blocked. Zoo able to get it. Again, another shot way wide of the net. Scranton now in the corner with Ware. Kept in by Boudry, sticked aside. Ware now up with the puck, but turned over to Mount. Kept in by Scranton. Ware gives chase. Scranton now back up with the errant pass, but stolen again by Mount. Thrown way out high. Zoo up with it, off of the stick. Ware back up with it. Ware with a good shift here, and out of the zone. By Boudry, another shot off the Mount player and into the corner. Ha now up with the puck into the mid-Fairfield zone. Feeds his teammate. Faich is able to put a glove on it. 9:13 left in the second period. All right, folks, we're going to take a break here, and maybe Mr. Scranton can come over here and bail us out. Oh, yeah. No? Oh, okay, I lied to you. It looked like they were going to take a break here. Sorry, I apologize about that. Maybe I was hoping for that. Oh, and stolen by Ludke. Ludke taps it off the glass high up into the air, but Mount back up with it again. Vartanian gives chase. Foyt now up with the puck, hits the brakes, and misplayed by Mount. Oh, looked like it was going to be a breakaway opportunity for Ludke. And Mount gains the zone. Oh, great poke check by Caccaro there. Romanian back up with it, tries to feed a teammate, Foyt. Ludke trying to feed Caccaro, and the Mount goalie is able to swat it away. Ludke with a forecheck. Correa now all over it. Correa with a steal, gets it back to Ludke, back to Johnston, shot, and absorbed into the stomach of the Mount goalkeeper. All right, so now this is the halfway point, and we're going to take a break here and see if Mr. Scranton can do anything for us. But so far, a great game.
All good? Nice to see you.
You can just leave it. Yeah. Can you check on your phones? I don't want to check it on mine. Does it look like the videos? Okay, and welcome back, folks. Hopefully this internet's a little bit better. So mid-Fairfield's got it pinned into the mount zone. Puck goes behind the mount goalkeeper. Armstrong tries to feed Bricker. A little bit too strong on the pass. Boudry trying to get it out. Charbonneau keeping it in. But here comes mid-Fairfield. Oh, Lopiano looked like he had a chance. Lopiano, tries to feed Malefus again. Malefus races to the opposite corner. And here comes Charbonneau. Faitch comes out and fields the puck. And now feeds Ludke up from Lopiano. Ludke, though, is ridden out of the play. And here comes Charbonneau again. Shot off of Faitch's mask. Chris Faitch coming out aggressive, stopping 2 shots from Charbonneau. And here comes mid-Fairfield. Correa on the pads. Up in the air, out in front. Stolen by Figueroa and thrown back in. Figueroa over to Caccaro, a little too strong on the pass. Caccaro back up with it again, throws it out, and it's thrown back in the zone. Caccaro now skates, gets it to Correa. Correa gets around a couple of Mount players. The Mount's trying these long passes. Mid-Fairfield able to keep it back in, though. Correa out in front, puck is loose. Mid-Fairfield unable to get a shot down. And Caccaro able to stop it and thrown back out by Mount. Shot, saved by Faitch, another save by Faitch, and it's thrown in. So 5:39 left, and Mount goes up by another goal, 2-0. So mid-Fairfield definitely has had their chances here, but unable to put anything past the Mount goalkeeper. Mount back up with the puck again. Ha dumps it in, and it's thrown back out by mid-Fairfield, dumped back in again. High up off the glass. Foyt now up with it. Foyt cross ice pass. Huang now up with it into the mid-Fairfield zone, leaves it for Foyt. Puck behind Faitch. Fairfield unable to get the puck out of the zone, and Pan goes down. Mid-Fairfield's going to have... Right, that was... I'm going to reserve comment on that because that'll get me into trouble. It was clearly Chris Faitch was running out because there was a delayed penalty. Mount came up with it and shot it into the mid-Fairfield net. So mid-Fairfield nonetheless will go on a power play here. I believe it's its first of the day, first or second of the day. So you've got Scranton out there with Ludke and Lopiano, Caccaro and Malefus. Win by mid-Fairfield. Malefus up with it, throws it out to Caccaro, back to Malefus, over to Lopiano, back to Caccaro. Boy, he is so dangerous, both some... Sorry, folks, I get distracted being a goalie father, and I'm sorry about that. Puck thrown to the opposite end by Mount. Caccaro now up with it. Leaves it for Malefus, back to Caccaro, gains the zone, feeds Ludke. Tries to get it to Scranton. Malefus now swipes at the puck. It goes the length of the ice to Faich, who feeds Ludke. Back up to DeRoberts, who gains the zone but loses the puck. Fielded by mid-Fairfield by Malefus, and again, lost control. Faich is able to stop it at the end board. Ludke up with the puck. 42 seconds left in the power play. With Fairfield so far, no shots on net. Coccaro up with it. Feeds Malefus. Malefus back to DeRoberts. Quick shot, hits Scranton. Kept in by Ludke. Ludke over to Scranton. Back over to Coccaro. Coccaro manhandled by a Mount player, and it's finally thrown out to DeRoberts, who loses the handle and thrown out by Mount. So that's just about going to kill the power play chance for mid-Fairfield. DeRoberts up with it, over to Carey. Carey loses the puck, and now here comes Charbonneau, and it deflects off of one of the mid-Fairfield players. Figueroa now up with it. He's got LeConte in tow. Now it's turned over, and here comes Charbonneau again. Saved by, blocked by one of the mid-Fairfield players. Out to LeConte. Here comes DeRoberts. Carey just throws it back into the Mount zone. Cross ice pass. Zambito back now up with it. Saved by Faich with the pad. And thrown the length of the ice. So 1:50 left in the second period. Mid-Fairfield down by 2. So unfortunately, mid-Fairfield, without the services of Lucas Ruff and Brody Shunk. Campbell now up with it. Out to the blue line, shot, saved by Faich. Is able to absorb it with no rebound. You can definitely see when Lucas is out, he's got high energy forward, and Shunk with the tremendous D work. Foyt sweeps in, gains control of the puck, but then loses it. Stolen back by Foyt. Looked like Fairfield was going to break it out. Still battling along the corner. Foyt back up with it. Johnston races for control. Oh, and here we go. Mid-Fairfield will have some numbers here. Ware with a shot and a save by the goalkeeper. Pan now up with it. Dumps it in to the Mount zone. Kept in by Boudry. Shot blocked by Mount. And dumped in. Boudry fighting for possession along with Johnston along the glass. Puck up in the air. And Zoo gives chase now into the mid-Fairfield zone. Pan now fighting with Bricker for control of the puck along the glass. And here comes Malefus, but loses it to Foyt. Big hit by Boudry. Now Scranton trying to settle things down. Mid-Fairfield just unable to even break it out of their own zone right now. And that's the end of the second period. So we'll have a short break. Bricker and Boudry going at it. And we'll just take a short break here. What? Oh, so we're gonna have a penalty? Okay.
Did we give up?
So sorry, folks. I believe we're going to go on a penalty kill here.
They were talking through it.
But I think the
saw a
the refs are talking about it. So let's wait and see what they say. I haven't seen a signal yet. Just mid Fairfield desperate at this point to put one home. All right, now we're set to bring you the third period. Mount up 2-0 over mid Fairfield. First period was much more entertaining than the second. Whether it's tired legs or whatever you have. O'Neal feeds it to Correa. Correa each off the shoulder. It's the same thing mid Fairfield did in the New England Championships, but just was never able to poke one through. So let's see if things change in this game. Again, another win by Mount, thrown behind Faich. O'Neal gives chase. O'Neal wrestling at the end boards. Brown now back up with it. Over to Thompson. Deflects off a low piano. Good hit by Caccaro to poke the puck free. O'Neal clears the area, but it bounces dog leg. Malthus gets it behind the back to Caccaro. I think they're going to call a delayed offside there. It looked like Malthus was about a step too early. Lukey now up with the puck, feeds to Roberts, and mishandled at the blue line, and here comes Mount again, but too much on the pass to Roberts, trying to feed Figueroa. Lukey falls down, Sonacek with an errant shot, Correa now up with it. Correa feeds Figueroa. Mid Fairfield's gonna have some skating room if they hustle. Lukey back up with it. Mount closed the gap quickly. Out to Boudry, dumps it back into the corner. And here comes Mount. Ha now up with it. Into the slot, feeds his teammate. Just beautiful passing by Mount. And slides the puck by Faich. 11:22 left. So puck up to Caccaro, rolling puck, he's having trouble handling it. It's a delayed penalty, not sure what, but we'll find out in a second. Here comes Caccaro, up across his own blue line, leaves it for Malthus, gains the zone. Zoo over to Kakaro, and stolen by Mount.
Isn't it like a cross check off the face off or something?
Okay. Yeah, so the Mount called for the cross check at 10:51 in the third. So you've got Scranton, Correa, and Lopiano out there. Malefus and Kakaro. Kakaro and Malefus logging a lot of minutes here. Malefus races down, collects the puck. Armstrong all over him though. And here comes mid-Fairfield. They'll have some numbers. Oh, Scranton unable to collect the pass. Scranton thrown to the ice. Out to Kakaro. Kakaro back over to Lopiano. Tipped off a Mount player. Correa back up with it. Lopiano back to Malefus. Shot loose out in front. And the Mount goalkeeper is able to secure it. 10:09 left. So coach will run with the same group here. He's got Scranton at center, Correa, Lopiano, Malefus, and Kakaro still. Puck back to Kakaro, fields the puck at the blue line, the top of the key, slides into Lopiano, back to Malefus. Mid-Fairfield with no puck luck so far, but back to Kakaro. Kakaro with a shot! Oh, it looked like it had gone in. Faitch comes out, fields it, throws it out to Lopiano. Lopiano loses the handle. Looked like that puck had gone in and thrown out the length of the ice. Malefus back up with a puck. Faitch leaves it for him. Now back to Kakaro. Over to Boudry. Boudry with a shot off the goalkeeper, high up into the air and off the netting. 9:18 left in the third period. Mid-Fairfield down by 3. So you've got Johnston out there with LeConte. And Ludke, DeRoberts loses the handle, gets it just in time back to Ludke, back to DeRoberts. Back over to Ludke. Ludke dances around, leaves it for Johnston. Back to Ludke, LeConte now throws it to the opposite side. Penalty over. And now the puck goes the length of the ice. Ludke back up with it and he's shoved down to the ice. Mount back up with it. Brown circles around, shot. Saved by Faitch off to the side. Back out to Foyt. Saved by Faitch off to the side. Boudry now up with it. Kept in by Mount. Battle along the glass. Out in front. Nice recovery by Ludke to help out his goaltender. Brown up with it. Blocked by Ludke's skate. Campbell now up with it. Sets up a teammate out in front. Fakes with a stick. And now up in the air, up into the netting. 7:28 left. So you've got Fuggerino out there. The center won by Mount. Another shot, misses the net. O'Neal races there, tosses to the other side to Pan. Zoo now, opposite side. Gets it over to Ware. And out of the zone, Thompson picks it up, and Mount reloads again. Dumps it back into the mid-Fairfield zone. Faitch unable to secure it. Puck high up into the netting off O'Neal's stick. We've got 6:52 left. Mid-Fairfield still looking to get on the board. So win by Mount, Thompson up with it, shot, saved by Faitch off the pad and swept away by mid-Fairfield. And here comes Scranton, who feeds Lopiano. Lopiano gets by, backhand off the pad, still loose. And it's in! It's in! Mid-Fairfield is able to cash in finally with Lopiano and Scranton. And Kai Scranton is gonna get credit for the goal. So Mid-Fairfield able to cash in at 6:33 with Kai Scranton. So plenty of time for Mid-Fairfield here to still get that second goal, make this a game. So the refs allow the Mount coaches their piece. And we've got a game here, folks. Malefis at center. So
What are we doing? Drop the puck.
the goalie is really upset. Yelling at the referee, I'm not sure about what, but the game is started. And right away, Mid-Fairfield's going to go on the penalty kill here. So your penalty killers, Scranton, Boudry, Malefis, and Caccaro, win by Mount. Campbell up with the puck. Trying to set up the backdoor play. Out to the top of the key. Shot saved by Faitch with no rebound. 5:58 left. Malefis still back at center. So win by Mid-Fairfield. Caccaro shoves it over to Boudry. Or sorry, Scranton throws it the length of the ice. The goalie, for some reason, was signaling for an icing and must not have understood he was on the penalty. Campbell back up with it. Mount now right onto the side of Fage. Scranton now up with it, throws it the length of the ice again. Mount looks to set up shop here. With Fairfield still battling along the corners. Foyt dances along the blue line. Out in front, nice stick work by Ludke to tap that puck free. And now Ludke races down, but Bosamini gets there first. Oh, nice open ice check by Correa. Mid Fairfield dumps it down to the Mount zone. Oh, it's stolen by Figueredo out in front. Oh, bad save. Oh, Mid Fairfield had a chance there. Now O'Neill, Mid Fairfield loses the puck, but then regains it off of Zoo. Zoo now across his own blue line, dumps it in. Mount goalie tried to field it. And Mount gains the zone, shot and glove by Fage. 3:38 left. And now he has some extracurriculars in the corner. Vinny Zoo uncharacteristically giving the Mount player a face wash. So Zoo and Ha are going to go off. With complimentary penalties. So win by Mount again, out to the blue line, shot, blocked. Boy, the player's doing everything just to get it out of the zone here. Blocked by a Mount player and out of the zone. Looks like deflected off a Fage. And Figueredo now up with it, leaves it for O'Neill. Shot, saved by Fage with a glove, who leaves it for Coccaro. Coccaro across center ice, dumps it in. 2:56 left. Oh, nice play by Mid Fairfield, but unable to get any puck luck. Campbell back up with it. Nice defense by O'Neill to deny. Out in front, misses the net. They had a wide open net on Fage. And here comes Malefis. He's all by himself, splits the defenseman. It's in! It's in! Yanni Malefis with a backhanded goal! And Mid Fairfield is able to cut into the lead 3-2. Boy, he needed that one. So with 2:24 left to play in the game, Mid Fairfield has closed to within a goal. Malefis back at center with Scranton and Lopiano. DeRoberts and Caccaro manning the blue line. Caccaro back up with it. Decides to set up ice. Over to Malefis. Malefis across the blue line. Malefis with a shot that's secured by the Mount goalkeeper. 2:09 left to play. And we're gonna have a timeout by Mid-Fairfield. So Mid-Fairfield and Mount have played probably about 10 times in the last 2 years at least. And each game has gotten closer and closer for Mid-Fairfield. Mount, one of the more skilled teams in the country, two of the best players in the country on their squad. But Mid-Fairfield is giving them everything they can handle today and has cut the lead down to 1 goal. You got to think with 2:09 left to play, if Mid-Fairfield can gain control of the puck in the Mount zone, Faitch will probably come out right away. All right, so we got 2:09 left here. So you've got Caccaro and DeRoberts out there with Scranton, Malefis, and Lopiano. And here comes Mount flying down. Caccaro, shot, misses the nets. And here comes Scranton. Faitch races off, but now he has to go back. As DeRoberts fields the puck up in the air. Blocked, and here comes Mid-Fairfield. Lopiano has a breakaway. Lopiano loose out in front, and the Mount goalkeeper comes up with it. Oh, wow, that was the tying goal. But the Mount goalkeeper stands large here with 1:31 left to play. So Faitch is pulled, so Mid-Fairfield will have 6 players out on the ice. Mid-Fairfield with the wind, dumped in on the ice. Kept in by Caccaro. And dumped the length of the ice. Caccaro's got to race down there, and that's going to be an icing. And you hear the groans from the stands as a lot of the parents for Mount thought that was a offside, or the puck was out of the zone. But the ref standing there indicated otherwise. So 1:15, Faitch has been pulled. Mid-Fairfield down by a goal. Thrown out to DeRoberts, shot. So coach will reload here. Shot, loose out in front. Oh, wow. Mid-Fairfield with another chance right there. 1:03 left to play. Scranton now at the face-off circle. Shot the length of the ice for another icing call. 59 seconds left. Granton back under center. Out to DeRoberts, shovels it over to Malefus, throws it in the corner. Kept in by Caccaro, dumped into the corner. Oh, I thought, and that's it. Deflected off of Caccaro's glove and into the net. So that'll be it, folks. So Mid-Fairfield unable to get the equalizer here, down 4-2 with an empty net. 44 seconds left to play. But Mid-Fairfield giving Mount everything they could handle today. Boudry now taps it over to O'Neal, a little bit too strong. Dump back in, Feach able to slow it down. Pinned along the corner. LeConte tries to feed the streaking Fuggerino. There comes Foyt across the blue line, shot, misses the net. And that's it, folks, so we will see you tomorrow.